As an emergency medicine resident, I spend around 90% of the time sa ER. And most of the cases we see there are those that are very critical. Sometimes when we do everything right, those patients get to live another day and get admitted sa wards for further management. But sometimes, even if we do everything right, patients still die. We can't save everyone. Sometimes it's because the disease has progressed na to a point where we as doctors can't do anything about it. Sometimes it's because they were brought in too late, and sometimes it's because a lot of other factors that combined and there's just no way out. Death was already inevitable. We do our best to save lives, pero we have our limits tao lang kami. I would guess that half or even more than half of the death that happens sa hospitals, nangyayari yan sa ER. So needless to say, EM doctors have seen a lot of death. But then how do we feel when our patients die? Do we cry? May pakialam pa ba kami sa mga kamag-anak nila? Bakit parang di kami nalulungkot? Paano kami nakaka-move on agad? I'm Doc Junji, ang tropa mong residente, and in this video, I'll talk about what doctors experience pag namamatayan kami ng pasyente. For the topic, medyo masyadong masaya yung intro ko, so let's just get right into it. What do we feel? Anong nararamdaman namin? Yes, we do feel sad, especially when we feel like what happened to the patient could have been prevented. Yun yung mas mabigat sa amin Yung pwede sanang di namatay. Kaso ayun nga, late na dala sa ospital, hindi na-recognize agad ng relatives yung symptoms, ng sakit, hindi nagtitake ng maintenance yung pasyente, or lalo na yung kapag aksidente. Yung mga biglaan lang, nakatayo lang yung pasyente somewhere, naghihintay na masasakyan, tas biglang nasagasaan. Yung mga nagmomotor, tas biglang nawala ng balance, tumama yung ulo. Yung mga ganun. Hindi naka-helmet. We feel sad when those kinds of patients show up at the ER. Of course, we still do our best para itry buhayin yung pasyente, pero we can only do so much. That being said, we can't hold on to the sadness or heavy feeling for too long. We have other patients to take care of. We have other patients na kailangang tulungan para hindi mangyari sa kanila yun nangyari sa ibang pasyente namin. So we don't actually have much time to dive into those emotions kasi hindi pwedeng maapektuhan yung ibang pasyente namin As you see more death as a doctor, it gets easier and faster to box those feelings and then put them aside for a later time. Doon mo na lang siya asikasuhin. Kasi may isa ka pang pasyente dito na baka mag-toxic din. Just imagine this. If nasa ER ka, meron kang sugat kasi nahiwa ka, kailangan lang tahiin. Siguro mga 2 stitches lang. Tapos yung doktor na pupunta sa is kagagaling lang sa patient na nag-expire. And by the way, that's what we call patients who died. Expired. Kakagaling lang ng doktor mo sa expired na patient, tapos makikita mo siya, malungkot talaga, ang bigat ng feeling, tapos almost in tears because of his last patient. He didn't do anything wrong, hindi siya yung cause kung bakit nag-expire yung pasyente niya. Pero you can clearly see na apektado siya nung nangyari dun sa pasyente niya. Do you think as a patient, you'll have confidence in this doctor? Medyo sketchy, di ba? Parang you'll almost feel like, sige doc, ihinga mo muna yan. Tapos balikan na lang sa akin kapag ka medyo okay ka na. Kaya ganun Sa ER, we don't have time for that emotion. Move on agad. 100 to 0, real quick. And also, if ikaw naman yung kamag-anak ng patient na nag-expire, imagine if yung doktor na kumakausap sa'yo is umiiyak din, super sad. You'll feel like, teka, baka may maling ginawa to kaya to ganito kalungkot But even though we don't have time to be sad and all that, we do need to empathize with our patients or their relatives. Personally, I think that one of the best traits that you can have as a doctor is empathy. That ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Kasi like everything in life, kailangan may balance Di rin naman pwedeng wala kang emosyon Nakakausap ka ng relative ng pasyente mo na parang bato, like, patay na po yung pasyente nyo, dun nyo po i-claim yung bangkay sa morgue. Medyo parang robot, di ba? And again, di din pwede naman yung umiiyak sila, umiiyak ka rin. Balance talaga eh. I know most of my subscribers here in this channel are doctors or future doctors. So hear me out. You're gonna have to learn how to share and understand how your patients and their loved ones feel. If their loved ones die, for sure they're gonna have some questions for you as the doctor. And alam ko minsan may mga bagay na mahirap i-explain in layman's term or minsan di din natin alam talaga for sure. Like minsan, dinala sa'yo yung pasyente, wala ng heartbeat, tapos yung kasama, di alam kung anong nangyari, di alam kung ano yung mga sakit ng pasyente, di alam kung ano yung mga gamot ng pasyente. Yes, nangyayari yun guys. May mga relatives na ganun. Hindi lahat, pero it happens. So, paano may explain yun, di ba? Namatay po siya kasi... namatay po yung pasyente nyo kasi... wait lang. Pero hindi rin naman pwedeng sasabihan mo lang sila na patay na po, tapos alis ka na. Kahit anong galing mo as a doctor, if you don't have the heart of a human, then people or patients won't come back to you. I know some doctors, some consultants, na they're successful, ang dami nilang pasyente, not because magaling sila. They do okay, pero they're very successful because they're kind. So you have to give the relatives their time to grieve after you break the news to them. Explain what happened and tell them that you're available for any questions. Hanapin ka lang nila. Tapos syempre, huwag kang magtatago. Kasi initially yan, pag sinabi mong patay na po, iyak, ganun. Kahit anong explain mo dyan, most likely hindi yan papasok. And then afterwards, pag kalmado na sila, then tatanong ulit nila lahat ng nangyari. Bakit po ganito? Bakit po ginawa yun? Anong nangyari dito? Ganyan. Now, here's something they don't teach you in med school. Listen really carefully, digest this, accept this. Sometimes you do everything right for the patient. Sometimes you do everything right for the relatives. Well explained and all that. And in the end, the patient still dies. They teach you how to handle that as a doctor. Kung paano mo i-explain sa relatives, paano sila matutulungan sa grieving process nila, paano mo sila mapapakalma and all that. What they don't teach you, what they don't teach us is how we handle that emotions for ourselves. They teach us how to understand how they feel, pero how do we feel? They're sad, I'm sad. Pero bakit sila lang yung may grieving process? Kasi ba, doktor ako, so I'm expected to be able to carry this heavy burden on my own? Plus the fact that this death might not be the only death that I call in my shift. It might be the second, the third, who knows? Fourth, fifth? Back when I was an IM resident, one of my duties, meron akong na-receive na admission. 70s female na hemorrhagic stroke or yung stroke na may nagdudugo sa utak. And on CT scan, sobrang laki ng bleed. It was too big to be operated on. Plus the fact that she's really old means na if EOR pa siya, baka pag open pa lang ng skull niya or whatever, mawala na siya doon. So basically, we were just waiting for her to die, to expire. So I talked to her son, explained the situation, ganyan, anong mangyayari dun sa pasyente, how this would go. Siguro mga nasa 40s na siya. He told me that his father just died a few months back. And now, his mother, eto nga yung situation. And then, he told me something that put things in a whole new perspective for me. He told me that he was an only child. No brothers, no sisters, no wife, no kids. Guys, I'm an only child. So when he told me that, I was instantly put in that mindset na, what if I was the one on his shoes? Boom! Biglang bumigat yung loob ko, biglang para akong naluluha. Everything he told me next resonated with me. Lahat ng sinasabi niya, nadarama ko na. Hindi niya alam kung anong gagawin niya, magiging mag-isa na lang siya, hindi niya alam kung magpapa-DNR na siya or yung do not resuscitate if mag-arrest yung patient niya. Like, I thought, anong gagawin ko if ako siya? Hindi ko din alam. Baka matulala na lang ako doon. At that point, nung magkausap kami, sobrang pigil na pigil yung luha ko kasi syempre, nakakahiya umiyak dun eh. Kasi naiyak din siya eh. Nanginginig yung boses ko habang kinakausap ko siya. So, I had to excuse myself. Ang bigat ng loob ko, nung emotion na nakuha ko doon at that moment, and dinala ko yan buong duty. My whole duty was messed up because I was emotionally affected by that one patient. And we carry that burden as doctors. It's part of the job. That's why sometimes kapag ka-residente ka, nagko-call ka ng death, parang wala lang, di mo napapansin. But at some point, mafe-feel mo na parang ang bigat ng pakiramdam mo, parang there's something bothering you and you don't know what it is. And it's probably that. We've seen too many deaths. Paano mo pinopronounce yun? Death. Kaya nga sometimes rest days ng doctors are taken for granted by some people. Nakatulog ka na for 12 hours. Okay na yan. Duty ka na ulit. Kami nga noon. Your body is rested. Pero ito, rested ba? Sometimes we talk about patients days or weeks after they're gone. What could we have done better? Is there anything else we could have done? And you know guys, I hope if those questions ever cross your mind, I hope the answer to those questions is always no. Because that means you did everything you could have done in your power. The worst answer to those questions is yes. That can mess you up right here. Kaya as doctors, as you practice medicine, you learn to move on faster. You learn to let go quicker. Pero most importantly, you learn how to effectively learn from your past experiences. We go to pre-med, med-proper, clerkship, internship, an extensive review for the board exams. Pero what you heard in this video, somehow they forgot to prepare us for that. Again, I know that most of you who are watching these videos are doctors or future doctors, med students. You might want to check out some of my other videos right here that you might also enjoy or probably inspire you in your journey. So thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys on those videos. Bye!